All right, welcome, kiddos, to a new edition of the TagCast. I know it's been a little while, but I gotta take my vacations, gotta relax a little bit, rest the brain, and all that good jazz. So we're back with a new episode, and this for this episode, we're doing a character that I actually definitely wanted to get done earlier rather than later, because I think she's one of the better characters in the game, and she's definitely obnoxious, and oddly enough, not a lot of people play her, which is kind of weird, but. Before I introduce my guest, though, I do have a surprise for everybody. The triumphant return of my very good friend and former co-host and once again co-host, I guess, Mr. John Okizeme. What's going on, dude?
Hey, bitches.
I am very excited, and I know a lot of other people out there will be as well. So yeah, he only stopped really because we had some scheduling issues. So from here on out, he's going to try to join us on the podcast again. And depending on schedules, he may miss one or two here, but hopefully we can enjoy his presence as much as possible. So with that, since you hear the beatboxing going on in the background, I guess that's a good enough entrance for my guest for this episode, your resident expert and mod for the TZ forums for the character that we're going to be talking about, which I guess I should say is probably Nina, and that would be Galen. What's going on, man?
Hey, you two, how's it going?
Not too bad.
So I gotta be honest, I thought his name was like GA bracket EN or something.
Oh,
I know that was a functional L. Yeah, I had no idea.
Well, so everyone knows everything and anything about Dan over here, but this is your first time on the podcast, Galen. So, just real quick, kind of give everybody who's listening a quick background on you, like where you live, where you came from, what got you into video games and specifically Tekken, and what got you to where you are now.
And favorite porn star.
You want me to cover that one first?
Whatever you want.
No. All right. So I've been playing Tekken since about 2002. I was never really all that great, but I did always enjoy having a pool of knowledge. I got the game. I ended up getting Tekken Tag 2 when I got a PS2, and that was really the whole eye-opening experience of Tekken. And I've been playing Nina that whole time. Other than that, really not much to say about me other than I like Nina. And
I hope that wasn't your porn star answer.
Hey, her last name could be Nina Mercedes. I mean, it's a good one right there, right?
I guess I'm sure.
If it ends in a car, it's definitely a porn star name. I'll give you that.
So what made you pick Nina? What about that character appealed to you?
I was honestly, I think I did the whole random select thing, and I got her. And other than that, I did double random the first time I got the game and ended up getting Nina and Ling. And I just stuck with them. Really didn't know a whole lot until one of my friends turned me on to Tekken Zaibatsu. And through that, I ended up getting on the IRC chat and met all the old hats like Markman and Catlord and Castell and all those people. But I mean, Mark taught me a lot just through typing stuff out to me and things like that. And then in 2005, I moved out here through the Marine Corps. I got stationed out here, or out in California. Most people probably don't know out here, but California. Met Markman, met pretty much all of San Diego Tekken, got pulled into that group, and still stuck with Nina that whole time. And yeah, just haven't dropped it.
Nice. So based on
what is it about random that always makes you play like the worst characters in the game? And back in Tekken Tag, Nina was like one of the worst. Man, you lucked out after that though.
Yeah, that's true. That was like the last.
Oh yeah.
When she
was all in the black. better.
That's true. So I take it from your previous statement then that your current team then is Nina Ling.
Negative. I actually started playing Julia in Tekken 5, and really I stuck with Julia and Nina throughout the rest of that time. I still play Ling. I have fun with her. It's more of a trolling experience, just jump over people and smack them on the ground and okie them up and make them mad and get hate mail and have people tell me they hate me and things like that. But
That's a good point. I mean, losing a Ling is like getting trolled.
I mean, a man after Dan's own heart, dude. You got somebody over here who loves jumping over people.
I just never considered it until now. You know, like back in Tekken 5, I would play the Bears because nobody liked losing to the Bears then. But now it's a little bit more honorable. But Ling, yeah, right now you lose the Ling.
Oh, that's funny. So, man, that sucks because that's like my most hated team. Like that's my nightmare team, Nina Julia. Like, oh my god,
That's pretty good.
I don't ever want to play that team ever in my life.
Wait, hold up. You play like real Julia, or do you play what the fuck do they call her now? Jesus Christ.
Oh,
or
JC.
whatever. Yeah.
no, I call her JC for the sake of typing it is a lot shorter, and I'm a lazy turd in most aspects. So I was mad when they introduced Bob because now I had to type wrong instead of Bob, and then whatever, you know.
Damn right.
Yeah, I think all the old school Tekken players are in that
My
boat.
arthritis is kicking in.
But,
So you're saying you play real Julia, whatever her name is now?
Yeah,
JC.
I definitely do.
Okay.
All right then. Well, with that, I guess we can kind of just jump into the actual character discussion. So usually when we start these conversations, I just kind of throw out an open-ended question, and then we just go from there. And that question is typically,
Anal?
where are the strengths and where are the weaknesses of this character? Did you have something to interject there, Dan?
You said open-ended question, and I said anal? That's all.
Okay, cool. Okay.
The podcast listeners may not remember this, but I'm a big old box of random.
This is very true. Bring a
I'm
little spice to these podcasts. So with that, I guess we'll throw that question out at you, Galen. Like, where first of all, like when let's say that I'm a brand new player, don't know where to start. What sorts of things should I be focusing on if I'm picking up this character?
Learning how to press down, forward, and 1 at the same time.
I like that a lot.
It seems like he's got Nina mastered. What's the next character?
So, I'm a definite abuser of her down, forward 1. Down, forward 1 pretty much opens up her whole mind game, offense, even puts her into her defensive state if you need to. But her overall strength is her poking. Her poking is phenomenal. It's been extremely good. Even in Tag 1, when she was a terrible character, she could still poke you to hell and back. Up until now, her outstanding weakness has been her range.
I know they fix everything for her. I hate her.
So now she's got perfect tools against she at range 2. If she was at range 2 in 5, 6, DR, Bloodline Rebellion, it didn't matter. If she was at range 2, you just kind of had to sit there and like snake your way in, and hopefully you didn't get kept out by someone's stupid pokes. Like
You are absolutely right. I am just
like Johnny was saying earlier, Bears could just sit and forward 1 all day, and you just had to be like, all right, this sucks.
I would just generic down back
But,
forward Nina all day, and now you cannot.
Yeah. So now Nina has good tools against range 2. If you're at range 2, you've got down back 2. It's also a tracking move and nets like an extreme amount of damage on counter hit. You've also got forward 2. it doesn't track very well, but if you've got someone playing just that straight and then you're forward back game with you, you can forward two and get in their face, and it's not going to push them back extremely far, and you're right there where you need to be for down forward ones and down back threes and down fours and that whole poking game that everyone hates.
Okay, so walk us through that poking game that you're just talking about. Like, Dan has already mentioned it. We and I have it as well a little bit. The down forward one is just, it's so annoying. You're going to see it when you go up against a Nina. But like for a beginning player who's picking up this, this character, what are all of your options and your tools at that range with the down forward one that you can use and abuse?
All right, so with down forward one, you're at a little bit of a disadvantage on block, but that's actually really good for Nina because she has a very strong sidestep. So on block, whenever you block whenever you get a down forward one block, you've either got that option of sidestepping and baiting out their whole tracking move, and once you've got them starting to do tracking moves, and you've got her Magic 4, which in this game, I think it's one of the best Magic 4s out there because you can net red life with it. You've also just got generic pokes, 1, 2, another down forward 1, down 4. If you've got, once you get people freezing, because that's your main goal is to get people to start freezing, and then you can really open them up with lows and mids, and either make them stand or make them duck and make them play the way you want them to play.
She just pisses me off.
Just a lot of annoying. Okay, so let's say that you accomplish that goal and your opponent is sitting there, they're stuck, they don't know what to do, they're just freezing. So what are your what are the best mix-ups that she has? I guess you can just say from your perspective as well, but what are you going for when you get that scenario?
Start freezing. You can throw out. You can just start doing very small side steps, and this gives you that whole option selective sidestep 1. For the newer players, sidestep 1 is cancelable with either forward or back. If you cancel it and you whiff it, there's a very, very small window that you can get whiff punished, and other than that, you can just tap up and back, and you're blocking. You can also, on block, sidestep 1 is at a high plus. It's like +4 or something like that in this game. So you've got your mix-up of another down forward 1, 2, down back 3, down 4. You can even go into her slower lows, like wipe the floor, because whenever you do your whole sidestep cancel or your sway cancel from sidestep 1, it throws her in kind of like a crouching animation, and you can throw in that wipe the floor from there, and you'll really get people freezing, and you can hit them with that slow low that is going to take a chunk of damage, or even float on reset. You can bait tag crashes with it, but that sidestep 1 is that major tool once you have them freezing, because you can throw low, mid. You can just keep that pressure on with that one tool right there.
Nice. I'm glad that you mentioned how there is that little window where you can punish her for it. But other than that, she's mostly safe on it once they get freezing a little bit, because that's probably my most and I know I've said this in the past, that's my biggest pet peeve with this character, is that even when she's punishable or supposedly punishable, you really have to be on point to do anything about it, which is just obviously ultra annoying. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. So okay, so we got the mix-up game going. We got the poking game going. So obviously, I know her grabs are good. What grabs do you use the most when you start doing?
When I start doing grabs, I like using down forward 2-4, down forward 1-3, and down forward 1. Up forward 1+2 is extremely good at the wall and in general now, just because it's a taggable throw. If if you're going for a floor break and a small combo, you can down forward 1+2. Her Oki off of the down forward 2-4 and down forward 1-3 is pretty good. You can net combos to the back with it, like down 2-3. If they try and stand a certain way, it'll hit to the back. So I mean, those are the main throws that I use. The 2+4 chain throw, that's pretty good. It's a really easy transition to do. I'm not a big advocate of using her chain throws. I could probably use them a lot more and get away with them, but I really don't.
Oh, just as a general principle, or is there like a specific reason for that?
No, it's just because they're unnecessary tools that she has her strengths coming out of those other throws so much, she doesn't even need them. They're like cock tools.
Yeah, I'll agree with John right there. Like she doesn't need to do them. They do a ton of damage, but I think it's unnecessary, and it kind of goes against my heavy poking, piss the person off play style.
Oh.
So.
Gotcha. Oh, fair enough. So you kind of opened the door there to my next question. I was going to ask about her Oki game because, I mean, ever since they kind of revamped her in 4, her Oki game has just been like stellar. Even when they got rid of, the old up forward 1 that she got. I don't know if that was new to Tekken 5, but I know that
yes, Tekken 5 it was fucking
yeah, that move was ridiculous. But
Whoa.
I mean, her Oki's still good as far as
whoa.
So.
Well, don't be hating on Tekken 5 Nina.
Oh no, she was insanely awesome, but I still she was so annoying. But yeah, just like with that, I mean, you were talking about how she has good Oki off of grabs, but just generally speaking, like what sorts of I guess, is there anything new in this game that they gave her for the Oki, or like what options does she have?
I think having down back 3 that counter hits is new and awesome for her, but
yeah, I wouldn't really apply that to her Oki too much. Her Oki in this game and her Oki in 6 are very similar. She's got a couple moves that hit on the ground, like wipe the floor, forward 1+2, down back 3. So those are really her big Oki tools. She gets a lot of really tricky things at the wall where you're forced to guess. But other than that, it's generally just forward 1+2, wipe the floor, and down back 3 is what you're going to.
Yeah, that's why I say down back 3 is pretty much the only change.
STFU or what's up?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's why I say it's the only real change is now she's using those same tools, but every now and again, if you screw up, that down back 3 is going to get you more damage.
Oh yeah, because on counter hit you broke up, but on counter hit you get a guaranteed forward 1+2, and it hurts.
Indeed.
But I was mentioning STFU against on the ground or quarter circle forward 2. It hits. There are instances where it won't hit, and it's kind of annoying. But if they're perpendicular to you, it's always going to hit. But sometimes when they're face up, feet towards you, it's going to whiff, and it's kind of annoying.
Now, I presume that she's still like your standard go-to pickup is down 4-1, or is it something else now?
All right, so against like quick standers, back rollers, people that forward roll, you've got a couple of options for that. You can down 2 for the guaranteed damage on the ground, because down 2 hits on the ground. And if they quick stand, you get down 2 and it'll float. You've got down 4, and then you can hit confirm the 1. So you just press down 4. If it whiffs, so be it. But if they try and quick stand or something like that, it's going to float. And there are many times when you can dash forward and get while standing 1s from that. So yeah, down 2 and down 4-1 are her big float tools. You can float with down forward 1, but that's a lot more rare than down 4-1 and down 2. So
Yeah, I think down 2 is the big one.
Down 4-1 and down 2 are definitely her big floating tools.
So do you find yourself doing down 2 more than down 4? Or
Should.
Honestly, I find myself doing forward 1+2 more than either of them. But if I'm going for a float, it's very situational. Like off of, like if I float or if I spike with an up forward 1, I'll try and float with down 4-1. That's one of the few cases that I was talking about earlier where I might dash forward and try and float with down forward 1. If again on like with wipe the floor, I'll try and float with down 2 instead of down forward 1 or down 4, just because I see it is more consistent. But yeah, it's very situational, and both of them have their specific times when I would use one more than the other.
Another one I would like to mention, just for the option selectness, is the whole down 3 string to the overhead kick. It doesn't do like as much damage as those ones, but I mean it's solid for going for a 2-for-1. You know, one that'll hit the ground and get you some solid float damage.
So since we're kind of opening the door into just generally speaking for juggle stuff, and you mentioned while standing 1, I do want to chat about that a little bit because I know that a lot of people think that's cheap as hell. Now it's hard to master, of course, but like for you, do you usually because I know like some Nina players they don't even like, they're like, well, yeah, you could get the range out of it, but unless you're a master at doing it, I mean, there's simpler combos out there that will achieve the same thing. Are you like a master of the while standing 1? Do you find yourself doing lots of 7, 8, 9, 10 or whatever it is in a juggle?
No more than 7, but yeah, like I will, like for the most part, I'll go for multiple while standing 1s. Mainly for the reason that if you don't practice it and try and apply it, then it's kind of one of her better tools that you're not utilizing and you're never going to bother actually ending up utilizing. If you're not doing it in a match or you're not doing it in a tournament, then why even bother like mentioning it, So there are the players that you were mentioning that are like, oh yeah, I can lose like 6 damage for not doing it, but they're also losing like a whole entire level of, or the whole entire stage distance of wall carry, So I'll almost always go for multiple while standing 1s, even if they're going to die after the 3rd one, and I'll still go for them and risk dropping the combo. That way, I'm kind of clutch with it.
Just keeping yourself more consistent. Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
So
are people saying that that's like super hard or something?
No. I just know that they just keep giving her stuff game to game to game, and I know that there are people out there that prefer to not do the while standing 1 just to do something easier.
Crazy.
But yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it's one of those things where it's a tool, even if it's difficult, and it's an extremely good tool.
I have heard people say here and there that it's hard, but no, seriously, there's way harder than that. Obviously it's something you got to practice, but it's not that bad.
No, and that's another reason why I'm an advocate of doing it. It's not extremely difficult. What you'll end up seeing is a lot of people trying to do it, and they'll go for it and get up forward 1s or quarter circle forward 1s, and that's just a lack of practice and a lack of like technical experience on trying it, But once you get the motion down and once you get like the timing down, it's extremely easy. I won't say extremely easy, but it's extremely easy to make stapleable.
Yes.
All right. Well, I did want to ask because you mentioned earlier about the whole red life thing. So, is while standing 1 like explain the applicability of that a little bit? Like, is it something that can lead to red life combos, or is it like almost exclusively wall carry stuff?
So it cannot lead to wall carry combos, or it can't really lead to red life combos. If you either get the choice of doing red life combos or while standing 1 combos.
So what's her red life option then, real quick?
And either one you choose, you're still going to net a ton of damage. Okay,
There's
so
nothing.
red life options.
I'm sorry. You can't do anything after like a while standing 1 to get red life. You can't do like a down 3-2 or a down back 4-3 tag in for anything.
You can, but it's situational and it's mainly with walls. So like and after a bound. So like you'll do like while standing 1 times 4, 1+4 bound, and then you can dash up back 1+4 tag, and then they hit the wall, and then you get a tiny bit of red life from the character that you brought in. But it's nothing that you're gonna get a huge amount of red life from on a normal combo.
Okay, because I thought that might still work.
So let's say that you don't
overall red life.
Sorry, go ahead.
All right, so yeah, if you're not doing all standing 1 combos, you can get red life from almost every single one of her launchers. Down back 3+4, back 1+4, while standing 2, down 3-2, 4-3-2, like that whole down 3-2 series. All of those are taggable. The couple launchers that I mentioned before that are taggable. For the launchers that aren't taggable, you can get quarter circle forward 2 after, or quarter circle forward 1 tag after all of them. Like counter hit down back 2, you can get QCF 1, down forward 2, QCF 1. Even like if you do up forward 1 and you get a launch, you can down 3-2 tag, and then you can get a little bit of red life from that. I mentioned you can get red life from her magic 4. So you magic 4 or counter hit 4, you dash forward, do a 1, and then QCF 1 tag. But yeah, almost everything you do with her, you can get red life from.
So silly. So obviously, you know, we might as well just keep talking about juggles since it's such a huge part of this game. I did want to ask about her her tag and her tag assault stuff, because Dan actually over here sent me a vid a while ago about a Nina Lars really ridiculous tag assault where like he could do the stomp and it would like pit and like just all this craziness off of this tag assault. So
you guys are probably seeing it. It's JDCR.
Is it him?
Or not JDCR, Only Practice, I'm sorry.
Only Practice. Do you know what I'm talking about, Galen?
I've not seen the one with the stomp, but if so Nina's tag assaults, I think Nina's got extremely nasty tag assault in this game, just because of down forward 3-2 and sidestep 1. You can sit and kind of carry a tag assault on for 1 hit, like 1 hit pre-tag, 2 hits pre-bound, 3 hits pre-bound, 4 hits, like all the way up to like 6 or 7 hits before the bound, and still get something pretty solid with Nina. At the wall, her options aren't that shabby either. She's got 4-3, down 4-3. She's got sidestep 1 into down forward 3-2-3. You can just do down forward 3-2-3. Well, I mean, it's just ridiculous what she can do when she's that secondary character with tag assault.
Okay, because the one that I was thinking of that Dan sent me that I just mentioned, Only Practice or whoever it was actually with her tag assaulting Lars in, but basically and I guess Dan you probably know more about it than I do, but because
yeah, she does the up forward 4-3 series into a crazy string.
Yeah, but like basically you have this option of either sitting there and eating Lars's stomp, which then pops you up for her to continue the juggle. You know what I'm talking about?
Sorry. That one. I thought you were talking about the crazy wall combo.
No. So just a quick recap of what this is. So basically, she tag assaults, and here comes Lars, and he does I think a sidestep first, and then he stomps. And if you sit there for the stomp, it resets the juggle. Essentially, it pops the opponent up just enough that she can start over again. But if you don't sit there and you try to move for it, she still has an option that will float you, and then again it resets. So like I was just wondering if you found that with other characters. Like I know you played Julia or JC, but like if that's something that's normal, because when I saw that I was like, you have got to be fucking kidding me. Like it was just like a nightmare of an Oki scenario. Like
he did his stomp and it popped him enough for while standing 1 to hit.
Yeah. So it's like you sit there, he resets you. You don't sit there, she resets you. Like it's so nasty. But
if you tech the stomp or whatever, she sidesteps and launches him in the back or something.
Yeah, it was just all sorts of fucking. And it looked like it was one of those things where you can just sit there, watch what your opponent does, and then just react to it. But sounds like you haven't seen that video, so you haven't seen that. So.
That sounds. No, I haven't, and now I'm extremely curious. I think I'm gonna look it up after this podcast. So.
All right. Well, yeah. Okay. So anyway, so I guess we'll kind of skip that for now, and for those listening, we'll try to dig that up, and I'll put that up for those who haven't seen it. But yeah. So her tag assault, sounds like she's pretty beefy when she comes in as the character. Now, what is the protocol, I guess you should say, if she's the one doing the juggling and tag assaults the second character in, or are you typically just going for red life stuff?
So that's where it really depends. If you're gonna get a wall with the red life, I would go with the red life. If you're gonna not be able to get to the wall with doing a red life combo, I would just, while standing, run them to the wall and then get an extremely beefy wall combo with her and whoever, because she's, whatever anyone else does, she can pick up with sidestep 1, up forward 3, or get forward 1, 2, 1 plus 2 for extreme amounts of damage. So
what about no walls? Like if there's no walls in the equation at all?
That depends if I'm in the mood to annoy someone.
Stop while standing oneing.
Yeah, if I'm in the mood to annoy someone with while standing ones, I'll while standing one. If I see that they're all about tag crashing, I'll while standing one all day, just because I know they're going to burn that red life out themselves. And if I see them not tag crashing and saving that rage, and I'll start doing red life combos with it. So, pick 4, I'll almost always try for the red life combo. But typically most launchers, if it doesn't tag by itself, if it's not a tag bufferable launcher, I'm going for while standing ones.
Gotcha. All right.
I have a side note about the while standing one.
Sure.
It's a lot like because I do this with Dragunov too. These characters that have these insane juggle like fillers that carry all the way to walls or just go on forever. They have that extra benefit of being able to do that to deplete someone's rage. Like if they're trying to wear it out, or also just what if they have a character on the wings that needs to recover life more than the other team does. That's another side benefit to having infinite.
Yeah, that's an awesome benefit. I completely space that off right now, but that is something that is taken into consideration.
I frequently drop like 10 damage so that I can do a combo that involves 14 hits over 8.
Well, in addition to, you have to figure that, I know Tag 2 is a lot less defensive than like the original Tag was, but every once in a while you'll still see timeouts. So, that's always another benefit to having a juggle that goes on forever. Just fucking wait them out, pull a Marvel, if you will, spam stuff. But that I can't think of anything else for. Was there anything else that you wanted to ask or note about Dan for juggles, or before we switch to another topic? Or
what's the next topic?
Oh, whatever. I have my little list that I'm going through, but
the next topic sucks. Let's keep going. No, I just have a lot to say about Nina all around. Fuck that.
Well, I mean, if you guys,
she's
I mean, if
crazy.
you have something that you want to jump into, I mean, by all means, I'm just kind of throwing stuff out there as I think about it.
She's just a character who had like maybe one weakness with her range, and it's really, like you said, range 2. We'll say just outside of her down forward 1, because you could go underneath pretty much anything that was safe for her at that range, or even just, frustrate her into doing moves that she really shouldn't be doing from that range. And now they've buffed her, and they've made like down back 2 safe, and they've made all these things safer so that she can attack at that range. But I think the one thing they did do is make her slightly less safe than she used to be, but it still doesn't matter. Now she doesn't have a hitbox problem, and that was just silly. Bad decision. I think that's probably why she's number 1.
Okay, so you are of that opinion that that she's at that S tier.
She's like top 3 at the least.
Gotcha. So, well, I guess let's focus on that a little bit, because it sounds like you just said it, and Galen mentioned it earlier, how she really only had that one problem. If you were going to pick one to be a glaring weakness, so let's look at it from, I guess, the other perspective. Like, what are you going to do to get out of this down forward pressure? And I mean, you can't really space her anymore since she can make you pay for that. So like, what are the options that you have? Like, how are you supposed to get around this stuff?
I think you've just got to read the player more than actually try and beat the character itself's moves. Because if the player is reading you, then if the Nina player is reading you properly, then you're going to be on lockdown, and it's going to be extremely hard. I know that applies to all characters in the game, but I really think that's one of the reasons why many of the top players have her as that S tier, is because if she's reading you properly, then you're stuck. You're stuck guessing against Magic 4s, down forward 1s, sidestep 1s. She's going to sidestep around you when you try and poke her out of it and sidestep to you. So I think it's good to read the person playing Nina more than try and beat out exactly, oh, she just did a down forward 1. I can do this, or she just did this. And wait for them to do something stupid. If you guess it, like, you've got to wait and punish her. If you guess right and punish.
Huh. See, I see her like.
So that's.
I see her as like, now you have to make her use those shitty pokes. That's what you have to build your game on. Is you have to like force her to use. I mean, down forward 1 is obviously not a shitty poke, but you got to make her use that so that she's not, using some of these other things, these other tools. Because now, I mean, she has too many safe ways to create damage, and you want to force her to slow you down with that stuff, so that you can play a higher reward game against her than she's playing against you.
So let's, I guess, just as I'm going to start playing devil's advocate a little bit, because I want to know how to beat this character. So let's talk about safety a little bit. Now, you said earlier, Dan, that they made her less safe in this game, but
no, I mean, okay, I did say that, but it's kind of like this quintessential thing. The down forward 3 is, like before, you could block a down forward 3 and then duck the 2 just, out of habit, and then if she didn't even do the down forward 2, you could still punish her. Now she can do down forward 2, and she has to do the 2, for you to get anything from her, but she's not getting any real reward if she doesn't finish it. It's that kind of thing where she has to do that sort of stuff. She can do forward 3, and that's a little, what is that now on block? It's 14?
Yeah, it's got a lot of pushback, but you're not gonna launch her like you would have before.
Yeah, so she's got like chip punishments for the most part on these things, like sidestep 2. I mean, that's a little bit more punishable than it was before, but her risk reward is still like through the roof. So she's
yeah. Like John was just saying, sidestep 2 now is minus 14. So against only like a few characters, you've really got to worry. Brian. Mishimas, Ganryu, So Lars, if a Lars player is playing super on point, forward back 2-1, I mean, you've just got to play like, yeah, you're not really going to get punished too hard for playing her the way she's meant to be played.
But the way I see that also is like with her sidestep 2, it's minus 14 now. The real reason you want her to do sidestep 2 is because 12 frame punishers become easier now. You're not going to miss your Lars forward 2-4 because you did it a frame too slow or whatever. That's the real benefit you have. So she's a little bit more punishable in regards to stuff like that, but the fact that she doesn't have a hitbox problem now.
So what do you mean by a hitbox problem? Just, you mean like the range issue that you're talking about, or?
Yeah, like if you sit at certain ranges against certain characters, they can't hit like areas of your body, you know? Like Steve, if you sit outside of range 1 and you just do like a generic down 4, like let's call this range just outside of his down forward 2 range, you know? He can't really do anything to you. He has to play riskier than he wants to. That's the big thing. And Nina used to have to play that way. You could sit outside of her down forward 1 range, and she wasn't gonna do shit to you, ever.
Yeah, you had to risk going in with forward 4 and getting sidewalked, or doing something stupid to get in and getting hurt, or slowly working your way in. And if you were behind in the life game, then you were stuck. You had to play risky.
She has the tools like to beat Mishima. She's always had the tools, you know, Magic 4. That's always been what people consider the Mishima killer. But because Mishimas are range strong and they can hide out back there, she always had a problem with them. Now, not so much. I mean, she has moves that'll hit there. The down back 2, she can, you know, that's a mid that she can just throw out that'll suck them in. Or she can do her down 3-2. And, you know, that used to be launch punishable for them. Not so much now.
Interesting. So, like, let's just kind of throw out some matchups here and kind of explain to me what's going on. Like, let's take another top tier character. Let's say, obviously the Mishimas are top tier, but like somebody else who's really pressure oriented. Like, well, you mentioned Steve. Let's talk about Steve. Like, let's say he's in his, you know, he's doing his stance pressure and all this other stuff. Like, so she really doesn't have a problem with that then? Like, she can just get around it and with no real problem? Like,
Steve's back 1 takes away a lot of her sidestep game, but then Nina's got her sway. Nina can sway away from a bunch of Steve's pokes. And that sway is really annoying for a lot of characters, actually, just because it crushes highs. You can block lows, and you can cancel the sway and block mids. So you can sit there and play the Hayashida game against characters that are poke happy, and you can bait whiffs with that and launch them for it. So
it's even got like a sidestep.
Yeah. So.
Okay, well, I guess real quick, since you mentioned the Hayashida step, just for like players who maybe are trying to pick the character up or something like that, kind of explain how that step works. Like, is it just constant quarter circle backs, or like what are you doing?
Okay, so all a Hayashida step is, it's a sway, and it's canceled with a sidestep. So you quarter circle back, and you used to have to go to neutral, but now you really don't have to. You can roll all the way from down to up and just pop straight back to the down and just repeat that motion. So in 5 is when they really did that. In 4, you had to quarter circle back, neutral up, quarter circle back, neutral up, and it was a lot more execution demanding. But even then, it was still extremely good. Now it's good, but I think since they made it easier, a lot of Nina players are doing it just to do it instead of doing it to apply the usefulness of it as an actual tool.
All right, everybody. So I'm going to take a little bit of a pause here. There was a bit of an issue when we were recording previously, and for whatever reason, the software that I used to record it crashed. in the middle of our conversation. So it was so nice enough to not warn me or do anything, so I didn't notice until after we were done. Luckily enough, it got all the way up to this point, but unfortunately, just because of the way schedules work and whatnot, I owe a big apology to Dan because it cut off the last 20 or 30 minutes or so of our episode, and he's actually not going to be able to finish the recording here with us. But I just wanted to do a little interlude there, a little interjection, just so you guys aren't confused. Like, oh my God, he's gone, and Galen sounds a bit different. So with that, I'm going to pick up where we left off. And we were talking about the Haishida step, and then I'll kind of let you just build on it, Galen. So you were talking, or you were starting to talk about how people kind of just do it just to do it, or Nina players, rather than actually taking advantage of it.
Right. So what I was trying to say is, what you'll see a lot of Nina players do is just quarter circle back up, just to do it, like, because it looks cool, it creates some space. But what they're not doing is they're not punishing whenever they see a whiff. They'll it's pretty much like a free whiff for whoever they're playing against. And he's got extremely good launchers that come out of it. So what you'll see, one of the Korean players do, Dioxin does it way better than Only Practice, if you ask me. But he'll quarter circle back, and then if he sees a whiff, he'll up forward 2-1 you. And he'll make you really, really, really regret whiffing and trying to hit him out of it, Haishida. So what I would like to encourage all Nina players to do is, instead of doing the movement just to do it, is start watching for the whiffs while you're doing it and start trying to punish as it's happening. So that way it maximizes that movement instead of doing it just for no reason other than to look cool.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I see that a lot with some people call it the molester step, but just the quick snake dashing backwards and stuff. Just with every character has kind of a generic version. It's not nearly as good as it was in the past, but I see some people doing that as well just to do it, and I don't know if I really agree with that sort of mindset where you're just doing stuff just to do it without any sort of goal in mind. So same thing to keep in mind. So we got the Haishida step. I think that was all that we had covered with that, because I don't think there's much more. You were talking about, though, if I remember, about her newer moves, and you mentioned, I think, quarter circle forward 4, and then I think there was another one too. But just to be safe, can you run us through just real quick, like her new moves in tag?
Okay, so her new moves that are very useful in Tag 2. She's got back 3, 4, and you can hit confirm that 4, and it's a sense wall splat. However, if you commit to the move, it doesn't jail, so be wary of that. So back 3, 4, it's a wall splatting mid. You've got quarter circle forward 4, 2, which is really good. Well, 4, 2, 3 is the whole string. QCF 4, 2, 3, but the QCF 4, 2 is really good because it floats on normal hit. So those counter happy characters, instead of you really messing up your momentum trying to buffer chickens into everything and trying to read when they're going to do it and anticipate a chicken, you can just anticipate the counter anyway, QCS 4-2, and net a solid amount of damage from it. She also has forward 2-1, 1+2, which is really good. It's a natural combo and counter, and you can somewhat counter hit confirm it. There's no spark or anything like that, no vibrate function or anything, but you can kind of feel it out, and if it is counter hit, you just push the 1+2. So forward 2 by itself, on block it's -8, on hit it's like +6. So it turns into a really good high I-13 poke. But yeah, for the most part, those are her new moves, and that's how they'd be used.
Gotcha. So, other than that, I don't think that we went too much more into her move set, and I'll actually steal a little bit of Dan's what he said last night, because he was talking about how she, and I actually think you mentioned it too, how we could just kind of be here for hours and hours talking about all of her options, and that's why she's so good. Like, she has all these moves that are really good that she doesn't even need. But in addition to that, though, I did want to talk a little bit about getting around her, because we talked about tiers, and we haven't really talked about her weaknesses too much because they're not really as glaring as some other characters. So I posed the question, what do you do about it? How do you get around her? And what she can't, she's not unbeatable, obviously. So like, what do you do to if you're having troubles against her? And I'll let you expand on that a little bit, but basically it was, even though she's better at the range 2, it's still abusing that. And then Dan also mentioned, making her do the safe lockdown stuff rather than going for the big damage stuff. So I guess I'll just kind of throw it at you and let you expand on that. So like at the range 2 or whatnot, we can start there. What do you do? Like, what's your goal if you're fighting against her?
If you're fighting against Nina at range 2, I wouldn't try and punish a whiffed 4 just because she's got 4-3-2 from it, and you're likely going to get counter hit unless you're doing something like an orbital heal or like a low crush. It's going to beat out that counter hit down 3 that's going to come after the 4-3. I would also say exactly what you were just saying. Try and make her use her poke game and net that smaller damage instead of letting her, instead of playing into her and trying to interrupt her poke game. Just let her run out her small pokes, and if you get suffocated once or twice, they're more than likely not going to sit there and suffocate you the whole time. They'll eventually try and anticipate something that you're not going to do. So I would say wait it out. Have a weary eye for down back 3. It's -13, and it's not incredibly fast. It's fast enough that it's unseeable, but it's slow enough that if you're somewhat anticipating it, you can either fuzzy it or do something along those lines. And some people can just see it. Like, even though it's I-20, they can see it almost every single time. And just watch for down back 3. And try and keep, once you get her out of that range 1, 1.5, or even range 0, try and keep her at that range 2, because the moves that she has to come in leaves her at a strong enough disadvantage where she's at a mix-up instead of you. So,
and I think you.
Try,
I was going to say, I don't know if we had mentioned it yet, but down 2, just to build on what you just said, it's a new tool that helps her at that range, but I think you said it was -9, right?
Yeah, it used to be minus like 15 on block, but on hit it's even now. So you need to be more weary of trying to attack her after a down 2.
Gotcha. But like you were saying, if you do happen to block it, like it's your advantage.
But keep her at that range 2 and try and make her come into you. Otherwise, get that life lead and keep her at range 2.
Gotcha. Well, other than that, I think the only thing that we really discussed, which kind of I don't want to say it was lengthy, but was probably most of what we cut off last night was just with, like, the tier listing portion, and we were kind of talking about some of the matchups and whatnot. But just kind of a summary from your part. Now I know that you think that obviously she's top tier. And now, are you in the group that thinks that she's the S tier, that she's even above the Mishimas, that she's that good?
No, I think she's every bit as good as Mishima's. She's got QCS1, which is the equivalent of her red life tool, just like Mishima's have electrics for red life. It doesn't have that crazy hitbox, and it's not safe like theirs, but once you've got plenty of safe launchers to initiate that red light from there. And she's got options for days. So, and they're almost selectable. So you can, like, empty sidestep. If you guys do a sidestep and you see them do nothing, you can sidestep one. If you sidestep and you see them lift, you can sidestep two. So, I mean, she just has options upon options upon options. And it's not as execution demanding as sidestep, oh, I saw a whiff, I'm going to electric. So it's just sidestep, oh, they didn't do anything, so I'm going to hit the 2 button now, or I'm going to hit the 1 button now. So it's just options. She's got so many options, and her tools overall, she's an extremely well-rounded character who has many high points and only a few low points.
Gotcha. And then one thing, just to be safe, since you actually asked about it, real quick, kind of go over her punishers real quick, and if it's something that I want to make sure that if we did miss it, that we get it in there, because I can't remember. But if we don't, I can always edit it out. But just kind of real quick, since we didn't delve too much into that game, just kind of goes into the options thing that you were talking about earlier. But run us through real quick her block punishers.
All right, so for block punishers, at I-10, you've got 1-2 or 1-4. 1-4 is a little more damage. However, it doesn't leave you with as much advantage as 1-2. At 11, you've got 4. At 12, you've got back 2-2. At 13, you've got down forward 1-2. At 14, you've got down forward 3-4 for a grip of damage, and it leaves you at +8. Or you've got forward 3, which wall splats and knocks down. You've got 3-4, which wall splats and knocks down. And you've got down forward 3, forward 4, which wall splats and knocks down. At 15, you've got down forward 2. And at 16, you've got back 1+4, which is tag bufferable. 17, you got back 1-4. At 18, you've got up forward 2-1. And at 19, you've got down back 3+4. As for while standing punishers and full crouch punishers, you've got at 10, you've got full crouch down 2. At 11, you've got while standing 4. At 13, you've got while standing 1+2, which nets the knockdown and a wall splat. However, you need to be careful with it, and your opponent is kind of the side to the wall, and you're almost back and catty cornered to the wall. The second and third hit will whiff, but the wall standing 1 by itself will hit. So be kind of careful with -13 if you're both your right sides are near the wall and their back is closer to the wall than their left side. At 14, you still get wall standing 1+2. At 15, you get wall standing 2, which is tag bufferable. It's got range issues, nowhere near as bad as it was in 6, but it's got a few range issues, so there are some cases where you're going to have to wall standing 1+2 from it. And at all the way up until you get to 18. Once you get to 18, you've got up forward 2-1, and then you can also crouch cancel down forward 2, but up forward 2-1 still takes a ton of damage. And after that, you've got your crouch cancel into back 1+4, crouch cancel into down back 3+4, whatever.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I do recall you mentioning that because of the while standing 2 issues that on certain big like block stun punishes, it's actually preferable to do the a forward 2-1 just because it's more consistent.
Right. An extremely good example of it is Anna's full crouch down forward 2. You're almost always going to wish your while standing 2 against it. So there's a lot of times where you do have to up forward 2-1 from it.
All right. Well, other than that, I mean, that's I think that's about most of what we missed and got cut off. So before I move on to the final segment, I mean, were there any like final notes or anything else that you wanted to say about Nina before we move on?
No, that pretty much covers it.
Okay, cool. Now, usually, again, I owe such a big apology to Dan. You know, we had you do a rant last night, so I feel kind of awkward asking you to do another one. I'll do my own little mini rant and say that Skype fucking sucks. Fucking all this, oh god, goddamn Skype causing my life misery. But yeah, I know that you know you have a long drive home and everything. So if you thought of another rant, or like when we got done last night, if you're like, oh man, I wish I would have ranted on that. I mean, we can definitely do that, but I won't hold you to it. We'll let you slide this time if you don't want to do it.
Well, last night I was in a pretty good mood, so I didn't have really anything to rant about. But right now, like right this minute, I really have to fucking pee. Like, I could whip my dick out and piss out the window. That's how bad I have to be. And it doesn't really help that I've got all these fucking morons around me that don't know how to drive. And I know that sounds kind of funny since I'm driving and running my mouth on the phone, but these people are fucking stupid. They'll see an exit and they'll be like, oh, I need to exit here. And they'll slam on their brakes in the middle of the fucking freeway, and they'll be like, oh, okay, I'm going to slowly get over now and make everyone behind them stop. Or they'll be like, fuck it, and they'll YOLO the fuck out of it, and they'll go all the way across all 4 lanes in like 2 seconds and cause everyone else to almost die. There's so many fucking stupid people on the road. It pisses me off, and if they were to all die when they got home, I really wouldn't care.
Oh man, that's awesome. I remember last year, me and some friends went out to LA, and then we picked up another friend, and then we drove to Vegas because we were doing a vacation thing. And on the way to Vegas, we actually were stuck in traffic for like 2 hours because someone's car caught on fire. Like, just randomly caught on fire. I was like, what the fuck is going on in the city? But
that's fucking sweet.
It was.
Pictures?
What's up?
Did you take pictures of it?
No, we actually never saw it. Like, we, you know, like everybody has like, you know, I'm not in a big city, so this was kind of new to me, but like everybody has like apps on their phones and shit that like tells them traffic delays, and like you have green is good, and then of course yellow, red, and all this other garbage. But I guess there was like this big huge block of red because somebody, and it said like the little note on the app said that there was a car on fire. Like, are you fucking serious? I mean, we saw some smoke and stuff, but we didn't really actually see the car. We took some sort of side route and went around it somehow. I mean, it still took forever, but because everyone else was doing that as well. But yeah, I was just like, how crazy awesome are you that your car is so bad that in the middle of Friday traffic that it catches on fire? Like, what are you doing with your life? But oh well. So with that, that was a pretty good rant. I always like to hear rants about drivers because I hate it as well. And I will again say, apologies to Dan for I know he'll probably rant on me next time for cutting him out of this little last section. And just a little bit of trivia for everybody. This does not happen often when my recorder doesn't work. The only other time that we ever had to re-record anything was the very first episode that we ever did for the T6 podcast. And man, I need to send Dan flowers or something because he was such a good sport about it. I mean, we hadn't done anything prior to this. No one knew that we were trying to do it, and he was willing to re-record something he had just spent an hour and a half on. So big props to him. But other than that, I was going to mention real quick to everybody out there, somebody gave me a suggestion about having maybe beginner, intermediate players come onto the podcast and ask questions for our guests, our knowledgeable guests. So if you're a beginner or intermediate player and like you have this big list of questions, or you have some things that you want to discuss about a particular character that we haven't done yet, PM me or, hit me a message. There's a lot of different ways to get in contact with me. And just let me know, and I'll see if I can get you on the podcast and you can talk to some of the guys that I have on here, and we'll see if we can get that done. I thought it was a really good idea, so I'm putting it out there for everybody who's listening and a devoted fan, and all that good stuff. So with that, I don't really have anything else for you. So Galen, if you want to do like if you have shout outs or anything that you want to promote or anything real quick before we put the kibosh on the episode, by all means, Mike is yours.
I would like to shout out pretty much all my buddies. You really know who you are. Evan, Ray, you for having me on. Dan for eating Evil Mist like 20 times last night after we finished up. Oh, God, it was so great. He might rant about that on the next podcast, too. And also, if anyone needs advice or anything like that on modding sticks or needs someone to do it, feel free to hit me up. I'm open for business, and like I said, feel free to check it out.
Yes, support local small businesses. Cool. Well, with that, that's it. That's all I got, kids. Again, sorry for the little bit of wrench in the whole process. I hope it doesn't make you too mad. I'm kind of sad that Dan that we missed out on that whole section. He couldn't finish it out with us, but it's technical issues. Like I said, luckily it does not happen very often. Very rarely actually. So with that, thank you everyone for listening. I do like to keep my episodes a surprise, so you won't find out who the next character is until we get to that. But if you have suggestions, as usual, about anything really, but if you have suggestions for people or guests or any comments or whatever, feel free to post up and do all that stuff. But other than that, that's it. That's all we got. Thanks for listening, and we will catch you guys next time. Later.